Hi, everyone. This is Mindy Egan. Every now and then, I come out with a one layer wonder card. It's kind of a little mini series that I come up with every now and then. And although I love adding layers to my cards, this video is going to show you that you don't need layers to make a big impact. I'm going to walk you through how to create a stunning one layer card simply using a stencil, some ombre ink blending, and a bold silhouette stamp set. I will have a link to all the supplies that I'm using today down below in the video description and over on my blog. The first thing that I'm going to do is I am going to dig out my double background from Gina K Designs. This double background is the original one she came out with. So it serves as there's two backgrounds on it, but flip it over and you have yourself a sticky mat that fits right inside of your Misty. I'm going to place a piece of cardstock down onto that grip mat, kind of in the center of it. This is the layering weight white cardstock from Gina K Designs. And I have some masking magic that I trimmed into 3/4 inch strips. I really wanted a nice thick white border going around my ink blending. She does have masking magic strips that are already pre-cut for you, but I wanted mine to be just a little bit thicker, and I'm placing them all the way around the edge of my card. Then I'm going to take the new Beautiful Backgrounds stencil. This is brand new from Gina K Designs, and it has a few different shapes on here. This is actually inspired by Gina. I didn't fully see the vision of this stripe until I saw Gina's card. And so I came up with this fun, unique color combination. Now, I am going to put the colors at the top of the screen as well. And this color palette does change a little bit as I start doing my project. I placed that stripe right by that bottom masking magic strip, and the grip mat is holding that stencil in place for me. Now, the first color that I'm ink blending down here at the bottom is going to be Tranquil Teal. I'm using my large blending brushes for this, but it may be a little easier to do with the minis, mainly because you have a little bit more control. The bristles aren't so big, and you don't have to worry about any of that ink getting over into the other areas of the stencil. So I did pick up my stencil. I cleaned it off screen using some rubbing alcohol and a rag. And then I positioned it so it was just a smidge above that previous color. I don't have an exact measurement. It was just a little bit above to give me that thin white line. Then I came in and ink blended Emerald Coast. Again, I removed the stencil, cleaned it off screen, shifted it so it's just a little bit above that previous color, and then ink blended Coral Reef. Cleaned it off, came back in, layered it again. So I just have that nice thin white strip in between my colors. And this time I'm coming in with Peach Bellini. This next layer that I'm going to do is butterscotch. And when I was actually creating kind of that middle portion that's masked off, I didn't do any measuring. I just kind of laid my 3/4 inch strips all the way around, didn't really consider how far up my stripes were going to go. So after I was doing the butterscotch, I realized I had one more area to do up on top. And I thought, well, maybe I'll try and come in and darken up the butterscotch a little bit and then put butterscotch all by itself towards the top. So I came in, I lined that stencil back up because I had already removed it. And I came in with a little bit of honey mustard right at the bottom. So that's giving me that kind of ombre look. Then I cleaned the stencil, lined it up towards the top again, leaving that little bit of a gap, and added the butterscotch. I'm going to go ahead and remove all of those masking strips around the card front. And as I was looking at this, I realized I loved that ombre in there. But of course, none of the other stripes have the ombre look to them. So it kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. I at first really was not going to take that extra step, but I thought, I'm already in this, I'm invested. So I lined up the masking magic strips once again. I came back in with the stencil, layering it back over the top of the stripes I had already done. And I'm coming in with either the mini blending brushes or the detail blending brushes. And I added a darker shade of color just to the bottom. So the bottom stripe that has the tranquil teal, I added a little bit of blue denim, and then I added Tranquil Teal to the bottom of Emerald Coast. For the coral reef stripe, I did cherry red. I had already done the ombre on that one stripe that has the butterscotch. So on the top stripe, I added a little bit of kind of a coral reef peach Bellini mix. I really was using whatever was left over on my blending brushes. Now, you may notice that I already have a stamp and sentiment placed on the door of the Misty, and that's because I had lined everything up. I had picked up the images with the door, and then I finally gave in and said, I'm going to go back in. I'm going to do the ombre ink blending on my stripes. I am so glad that I did because I love how this came out. So, I did condition my stamp with a stamp eraser, clean that off with a tidy towel, and then I can stamp my image and my sentiment down. Now, this image comes from the Celebrate You stamp set, which has a few different silhouette images on here. And then I placed my sentiment kind of on the side. So it's going vertically instead of horizontally. I think I may have been a little bit crooked, but I'm hoping nobody notices that. So, what a fun effect to add behind your silhouette images, any silhouette images that you may have in your collection. The ombre ink blending was completely unplanned, but I am so glad that I took that extra step because I love how this came out. Thanks so much for joining me today. I hope this one layer wonder inspires you to give stencils and silhouette stamping a try. Sometimes simple really is stunning. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future inspiration. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Until next time, happy crafting!